Hey guys, welcome back. I was live earlier today. We were covering some ROI dApps today. Guys, tonight, this is something that really is intriguing to me is real world asset cryptocurrency. Um, we're going to meet one of the founders tonight, and we're going to go over what it is. This looks like this is going to take several videos to cover this. This is one of the coolest things you'll ever see, real world crypto assets. So, guys, you know how it goes. Count it down with me, and we'll be right back. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, welcome. Eric, is it Allsup?
That's right. Yeah, you got it. You're the first person to nail it on the first time in these AMAs. So congrats, Pete.
Hey, man, I love it. That's going to give me some more PESA token. Guys, this is probably one of the most unique projects that I've seen in a while, and it ties in on real world assets, or in other words, real world business. Eric, before we get into the website, introduce yourself to the community and just kind of give us a little gray brush stroke of what this thing is. This is cool.
Yeah, certainly. So yes, of course, my name is Eric, and I got involved in crypto very shortly before I got involved in Pesabase as far as the company and the token goes. When it comes to crypto, I'm not a fan of gambling or the meme coins or anything like that. I'm very much a company guy, and I'm very much humanitarian. Both those things mesh, and Pesabase came, and Phil, the other co-founder of the company, brought it to my attention. It was a no-brainer, and I went all in. Breaking down the company, so Pesabase is a company first, and it has since been tokenized so that we can start to relate in Web3 and bring all of our real-world application over to the blockchain. So starting with the company, it was founded in 2016, and the aim is to stop the corruption and the massive amount of fees that are being charged to sub-Saharan Africans. Right now, the way that it works is if anyone wants to send money to their loved ones in places like, I'll use South Sudan, that's where we initially operate right now, they're being charged anywhere from 10, 20 to 30% in fees, and a country average of
whoa, wait a minute. 20 to 30%? Are you serious?
That's correct. You send $100, $30 is lost to fees.
Wow. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That threw me off. Wow.
Yeah, no, it did for me too the first time I went through it. So, and the reason for this is public enemy number one is corruption. There's no secret. A lot of the central banks and governments that exist in some of the lowest GDP areas of Africa, a lot of it is due to corruption and mismanagement of funds. But another big reason for this is, especially where we operate, it's in rural Africa. So these are areas where less than 10% of people have access to cell phones, and less than 10% of people have access to traditional banking services at all. So there's no network coverages, there's no smartphones, there's no way for all these new age tech apps and PayPal and Remitly and all these companies to reach these people. And when I talk about these people, I'm talking about 9 figures, millions of people that are still subject to using Western Union as their only platform to receive funds overseas. So what this does is creates a massive issue for people that are on the other end, because their family members are not only stifled by the amount of money that gets lost to fees, but the amount of time it takes in the process of transaction to rural Africa is days or even weeks at a time.
That is insane.
We'll get more into it later. A lot of these remittances, they're not used for leisure items or for extra disposable income. They're used for emergency services and survival. So things like food, shelter, famine relief, flooding, all the things that you see on any sort of charity website or commercial, are all the things that funds are directly used for family members for the most part. So what our aim is to do is to not only stop this level of poverty by financially empowering Africans themselves, but to take money that's being just left to corruption and be able to give it back to the people that need it. It's been decades of what's been going on in these specific areas, and Pesabase is rapidly expanding, which we'll jump into right now, and actively solving this problem. So before we do, Pete, I just want to say this is not a pre-revenue company. This is not a concept. This is not an idea. We've been in operation and actively working for over 3 years now, and just this year, we'll get into previous stats, but just this year alone, we processed over $8.5 million in remittance transactions in just Juba, South Sudan, and Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, I was reading over these notes that you sent me, and just seeing how many transactions that you guys have done. And what the other thing that's more fascinating about this, the business came first and then the tokenization came after that, correct?
That is absolutely correct. And I alluded it to before about crypto and just the state of crypto that I don't like is that everyone has an idea, everyone has something that they bring, and blockchain has now become like a massive GoFundMe platform for people to see if their ideas get validated or not. It's my
Right.
personal opinion, and many people will disagree with this, but I believe you need to bring something to the table first. I don't care if your company makes $10,000 a year in revenue. Bring something to the table that you can scale. Don't have people staking their investment in your idea and then failing on it when you don't get the funding that you need. Anyways, that's probably another part too. If we could talk about the state of crypto, but for us, we wanted to put the company first. We wanted to show that there's an existing entity that's actively working, and how blockchain is going to integrate into it, not the other way around.
Right. So in other words, you got a car, then you put nitrous in the back of it, and now you're really cooking with grease, right?
That's correct. And if you've been following along, at least in the past 2 weeks, we have like double cans of nitrous in our car right now.
Yeah, there's some pretty fascinating things going on. Where in the website, Eric, can we go to show the viewers a little bit more on this?
Which part?
That I'm at the home screen right now.
Yeah. So if you can keep scrolling, it's a one pager. You can just keep rolling. All the statistics, all the talking points are all through this website.
Yeah. All right. So it's Pesabase, right?
Pesabase.
Pesabase. Pesabase is the fastest growing money transfer platform in Africa for individuals, businesses, and enterprises alike. 8,500,000 plus USD transacted to date and growing. 92,500 plus transactions and growing. That is
That 8.5 million was a total aggregate for our entire time being operational. But
right.
just last year alone, we posted $8.6 million in transactions. So our total aggregate over time has been beaten in 1 year. That's what our growth rate looks like in 2024. This
That
website
is
needs to be updated to show 24's numbers. Right now, 2023 was $5.9 million that we did, and this year it's up to 8.5. So we have a 30% lift, and this is without a functioning app, and we'll get into that later on. But this is with us
right.
just using a bare bones API.
Yep. An international money transfer platform that allows users to send direct to mobile device through our app, direct to SIM card. Oh, this is interesting. Or on ground via our infrastructure of Pesabase agents and mini banks. What is a mini bank? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's basically a teller service. Right now, when I was talking about cell phone access, I think it's around 6% of people in South Sudan have access to a cell phone. A
Yeah.
large part of this is lack of network coverage. So they don't have any way of digitally receiving any sort of funds. So this is why I'm saying a lot of companies that are trying to help Africa or fix these areas in Africa can't reach them, is because a lot of it requires a network or some sort of digital service in these areas. So what Pesabase is creating is basically a network of mini banks, which is a very small bank. So it's a small center, basically a series of offices, 4 or 5 offices, where
Right.
people go to as a hub to receive their funds. So if you're in Melbourne, Australia right now, and you want to send $1,000 to a loved one in rural Juba, South Sudan, where you can't even reach these areas by car, we have a mini bank set up there that it gets transacted to us right away. We have a reserve of funds, and within minutes, someone can receive money in Juba, South Sudan from Melbourne, Australia, way across the pond.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what stands out to me right up front seeing this, the remittance business. How big of an industry is this going to be?
Well, right now, I'll give you a negative statistic. Right now, the remittance business for governments in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, they collect about $2.6 billion in fees alone for remittance in just sub-Saharan Africa. So anything south of Sudan, i.e. our
Wow.
area. Yeah. But it is a multi-billion dollar, I think it's 92 billion or something like that every year that's processed in Africa. It's a massive market. The largest level of inflows of any sort of contributor to GDP is remittance in Africa. It's international money transfer.
So this is neat. So on here it shows your unique IP and it shows transaction and then that's the user on the left right
Yep,
here.
that's correct. Yep.
And then explain where it gets converted. Obviously, that's the app, an agent, or a mini bank. Just kind of take it from where it says converted and go down from there.
Absolutely. So what our unique IP is and the way that our technology works is that people picking up Pesabase app or downloading it for the first time on Apple or through our web app, they don't need to know anything about crypto. There's no swapping, there's no onboarding, wallets, nothing. You pick up the app, you upload your fiat to the app just like any other banking app, or if you're using an agent on either side of Australia or South Sudan, you put the
Right.
money in and you choose the phone number you're sending it to or the end user, and it sends it right away and it arrives in seconds. The reason why is because your fiat is getting converted to our own native stable coin called PUSD. So it's tethered to the US dollar, so it doesn't fluctuate. It's not like Bitcoin where in a minute it can go up or down.
Right.
While it's being sent over, your fiat gets converted to PUSD, which is a native stable coin. And then whatever the app picks up as your native currency on the other end, it is converted to automatically and deposited, whether that's through SIM card, whether it's through your bank, a mobile agent, or a mini bank. Then, and that's what the three tiers are at the bottom. So you can withdraw it yourself and just have the funds to yourself, e-transfer them if you have access to a smartphone. But like we said, majority of people are unbanked or without network coverage. There's on-ground mobile agents. So literally like how you call an Uber on your phone, there's a series of agents that are built into our app where people can call an agent and find out which agents are in their area to deliver their funds right away. And then there's also static agents, which are our mini banks that we continue to grow a series of that people know they can go to pick up the money right away. So it's instantaneous.
So basically, what you're saying is you're an established business that's now working on a cryptocurrency platform. That is freaking amazing.
Well, here's the genius behind the cryptocurrency platform, because this is a question we get asked a lot. Like, why launch a token? Just continue to scale the business. We leverage blockchain for our PUSD, but why do we launch a PESA token where investors can invest in it and stake their claim in it? So
Right.
here's the coup de grace. Here's what I love to share with people. It's sad to begin with, but our resolution is amazing. So right now in Juba, South Sudan, the average salary ranges anywhere from $1.99 a month to $30 to $40 USD per month, as far as the actual salary goes that a man or woman uses to provide for their family. With our token, the way that the app relates to the token is every time someone makes a transaction through our Pesabase app, they are rewarded a very small fractional amount of PESA token. As they refer more friends and families, they're given more and more PESA token and they grow their own balance. And they're educated now on how crypto works or how they can interact with their PESA token. They can either
Right.
choose to continue to accumulate it, or they can choose to sell it for cash and be able to pull it into their bank account all the same. We know how crypto charts work. If someone continues to buy this token and it's being bought back on the open market, so the chart continues to increase as every transaction occurs. And
Right.
then we also have investors on the other end that are buying up the chart. Imagine being someone that earns $1.99 a day, and all of a sudden you take a look and you have a PESA balance that's $300 because you accumulated your referral fees, and the chart continues to increase. Would you not tell everyone that you know, friends, family, dog, shopkeepers, about that app? That's the genius behind our referral system, why we have a token. So
Right.
people can become financially empowered on the other end that don't have any other sources of income. They earn money from using our app.
So the referral system, I would assume, is in the app that's on the App Store, the Google Play Store.
That's correct. Yeah. So this is a great idea for another video. I can walk you through the entire tech. We'll go through just the basics of it today, but I'll
Yeah.
walk you through the tech because I was even showing one of our whale investor groups. I was showing them me making multiple transactions within 5 seconds. So I was sending money. I was buying PESA through a built-in swap that we have on our app and doing it all instantaneously and showing how it affects the chart and it being bought back on the chart as well too. The
Right.
system that's been designed by our software engineers is absolutely genius. It's 3 years in the making. It wasn't something that was just thrown together, but it is just it's a beautiful technology that synchronizes perfectly with blockchain and with an actual crypto token.
Yeah. What stands out to me is, there's some people down there that are thinking, maybe in these rewards, if I can match my salary or get higher, my quality of life is going to get better as well.
Drastically. And all it takes is to just refer people to an app that you're already using, that you've already transitioned over because you got tired of paying 30% in fees. Now you're being reduced to 1% to 2% fees. So you already have enough initiative to share with people, but now we're actually going to incentivize you. And the thing is that it doesn't create exposure for the company. We're talking cents on the
Right.
dollar here that we're paying off in rewards that people can actually use to buy food, to improve their shelter, to buy resources for their family, and our company's not being exposed to millions of dollars in order to make this this marketing leg of our company a success. It's the perfect storm, and it has everything to do with the area that we operate in.
Right. Right. That is, as I mean, let's see. Why is this important? What makes us different? The most well-known money transfer platforms, like in the thumbnail, I'm not going to say it so I don't get tagged. The most well-known money transfer platforms succeed in facilitating transactions worldwide, but fall short in offering the same simplicity and cost-effective transactions in rural areas. I'm going to tell you, you did great on your documentation because that stood out with me that you guys are really and truly, this is a blessing to this region of the world because to receive money at such a low cost that, I mean, they're going to have, man, they're going to be exposed to a whole new quality of life. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but man, that's outstanding.
And to put it into data instead of just like theoretical, it was over $600,000 that was put in back into the pockets of South Sudanese citizens last year alone. Over 600.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, there's your glaring statistic.
Yes,
for
it's
you.
being established in 2017. Pesabase processes billions of dollars for African citizens internationally and nationally. We bridge the gap for unbanked remittance users that are left behind. That's unbelievable. I love it when the little guy has a fair chance to win and paying astronomical fees. Oh my gosh. USD paid in transaction fees in sub-Saharan Africa every year. Hundreds thousand, 2 billion, over 2 billion?
That's correct, yes.
2,650,000,000 average transaction fee, 9.77. Look at that, guys. 2% average transaction fee through Pesabase. Wow.
And so
Oh,
that but that 9.7% is an average across all of South Sudan, especially in the area where we operate out of, Juba, Nairobi. These areas are significantly higher than that. I don't know if I alluded to this before, but a big part of it's corruption. Another big part of it's transportation. So security, being able to get actual money into these areas, like Western Union, for example. This is known, by the way. This is not something that they're doing wrong, but they have to charge fees for extra security and transportation in order to get it there, and that just gets tacked on to the transaction fees of their customers.
Wow. So, and then on this, let's see. So this is what's going to be good for another video. 2024-25 PESA will officially open doors to a newly built full-service bank in the central hub of Juba. Am I saying that right? South Sudan.
Yep.
Ushering in a new era of personal finance in Africa that includes blockchain technology. Yeah, I definitely want to know more about that because I've got a bag of PESA. Sounds like I definitely need to get a whole lot more.
Yeah, of course. In regards to the bank, yes, we will do another video on that. This has been in the works for, well, the property was purchased quite a few years ago. It's a 125,000 square foot lot that we're building on. And it's an entire business center that also includes a standalone bank on the same plot of land. Just a quick cliff notes for that, so we don't just breeze over it. The whole purpose of the bank is it's not just a storefront that you can open up or a retail storefront. It's an actual independently operating bank. So this disconnects us from the Central Bank of South Sudan so that we can operate financial services, just like loans, lines of credit, mortgages, anything micro loans that people need, and be able to offer our own rates and not have to follow the rules of the central bank. Because right now, the reason why we're dealing with so much poverty is because the access to the 6% I talk about that don't have access to bank accounts. It's not that there's no banks there. It's that they're so out leveraged from the banks. There's no possibility for them to ever be able to afford any sort of loan. And at the same time, it's so predatory that there's just no chance of growth there. So we're going to be the ones that step in the way of that as well too. And that comes from, I'm going to step back for a second. And that comes from co-founders, Phil and Neil. They grew up in South Sudan. I'm Canadian. I didn't grow up in South Sudan, obviously. But they grew up there and know exactly what that level of corruption and difficulty to get ahead looks like. And that's where this whole project and company came from, the bank included.
I'm going to have a squirrel moment. I'd love to see what kind of trees are planted near the bank, but that's me. I'm the tree guy.
The arborist.
That's right. Revenue model. A percentage of every transaction fee through Pesabase is bought back on the chart, reducing supply. I like that. and providing rewards to East Africans. This not only provides financial inclusion, but also allows them to exchange PESA to transact on our app for free. Wow, transact for free. I like that even more. To date, we have bought back more than 3 million tokens through revenue generated from our company. Eric, tell me about that.
Yeah, so right now, one of the biggest hurdles with developing our app is we wanted to create an auto mechanism so that right now it gets pooled. So basically, at the end of every month, we take a look at the total transaction amount, total revenue from the company, total percentage that we're going to use to buy back on the crypto chart, and then I manually buy back hundreds of dollars at a time. But the utility that we find so unique and that we nerd out about is that it's actually going to be an auto buy function. So if someone makes a transaction and their fee is $5 or $2, that $2 fee gets bought back on the chart right away. But hundreds of those happen at a time, or thousands of those will happen at a time. So the chart is constantly getting hit by microbuys, showcasing that people are using our app, saving money, moving over to our platform. So you as an investor get a window into what we're actually doing, and you can see it in real time affecting the chart. So right now to date, yes, we bought back over 3 million tokens with our revenue. I would not even consider this a start for us. We're talking an average of $2,000 USD per month that's being bought back on the chart. That is nothing compared to where we're going. We just wanted to showcase the app and again, plug in our company to our token, show everyone what's going on, rebuild our app, and now the timing now is to scale. And now that our app is ready to go on all platforms.
That is a perfect storm. Buybacks along with you're scaling out. Wow.
That's correct. Yes.
Right. So roadmap, let's see, token company, app integration agents.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of this is for another video.
Yeah, absolutely. It's simple. For us, there's a lot of things that put on there in regards to the bank construction. Now, construction itself is very inexpensive, especially when it comes to South Sudan. All of our materials, all the foundation is laid, walls are up, everything looks great for the business center. What is a way longer laundry list of what needs to be done is the actual certification itself. So to be actually certified and accredited as an independent bank, you also have to post a certain amount, millions of dollars in bond to ensure that your money is secured. So if there's ever a bank run or something were to occur, your investor funds need to be insured. So these are things that are taking longer. It's not the construction itself, but I had that on the roadmap. This is me being Mr. Rush everything and Phil and them being very cautious about how moving slowly. So the bank wasn't necessarily the focal point of it. On our roadmap this year, the biggest thing was getting our app live. We had a very our app that we were currently using was very bare bones. The functionality was good, but it wasn't as scalable as we needed it to be, and the security didn't match what the central banks were looking for. So the roadmap this year, or 2024, I should say, is focused around completely rebuilding the app, ensuring that not only the UI but that the security was on point as well too, so that we can take this thing and scale it to what it actually should be at.
There's some comments on there for you. Let's go over some of these comments real quick. Let's see. We got Matt, like and sub. Yeah, guys. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to be talking about Pesabase a whole lot more. So make sure you turn on notifications as well. Let's see, CB excited. Hell, I'm excited too. I love it. Yeah, Dano, Wounded Warrior Project alumni. That sounds pretty cool. God bless you if you're a veteran. Bonsoir. I know you know him.
Yeah, of course. He's our head of partnerships for PESA.
Oh yeah, smash that like button on the way in, guys. Smash it, hit it. Let's do it. CB, let's go. Yep, that's me. Let's see. Oh, Von Swan, Nightbot got on to you. That's okay though.
Put him in jail.
That's right. Yeah, our real world asset is the future, and I'm gonna tell you, these projects that are coming out focusing on real world assets. I mean, you can't beat it. This person's right. Blockchain remittance, absolute powerhouse. We talked about this earlier from CB Company first, then tokenized, legendary. 2016 or 2017, Eric?
Well, it initially started in 2016. 2017 is where the things got rolling. But it was 2016 officially where it started, yes.
Right. Let's see. Remittance transaction, yeah, 20-30%. We talked about that. Highway robbery. Let's see here. Let's go down through here. 30% year over remittance volume growth. Wow.
Yeah, I think this is our lowest year yet for growth. To be honest, there's usually 50% or 100%. Obviously, in the smaller stages, but we're doing hundreds of thousands, and we rocketed to millions quickly. So what has happened here? And I was actually just talking to one of or he's actually a prospective holder today. But he was asking me about our volume and why we had to rebuild the app, similar to what we're talking about here. And so our growth with the current platform that we have in place, or what the agents are currently using, they're tapped out at about 600K a month in volume. Like that's
Right.
working every single day, processing every single transaction they can, ensuring that they're security compliant. Like $600,000 a month in transaction volume is a godsend for them to do. We hit almost 800,000 a few select months this year and hovered around the 700K range this entire year. So we completely exhausted our fleet of agents to get these transactions done based on our demand. And the app is what's going to now take all that heavy lifting and reduce their workload by 70%. So they can focus on scaling and the app can process the transactions for them. That's
That
a big
is
part of why we rebuilt everything, because of demand. Yeah.
that is absolutely exciting. Yeah, 92 billion in business. Pesabase can easily take over in time because of the massive fee savings they offer. Yeah, I'd absolutely believe that. Let's see. Let's go down through some of this. I still can't believe this. Average salary is $30 to $40 a month in South Sudan. That is that's crazy.
Yeah. So imagine, like, we in crypto especially, think of what people pay influencers or KOLs or celebrities. Think of marketing budgets. If we were to put 100 grand aside and say, okay, we're going to do a massive referral program where we will offer everyone $20 to refer someone for 3 days. Could you imagine the
Right.
type of volume that would get? Like, we have our finger on a nuclear button to be able to expand this as rapidly as we want. The thing is that you need the infrastructure and you need the actual systems to be able to carry that amount of volume and remain anti-money laundering compliant as well too. So again, all of this is being built up to that. As far as marketing goes and the expansion of the app itself, I relate it to PayPal's inception. And I've talked about this many times before. But when PayPal started out and Peter Thiel and Elon Musk were all trying to scale PayPal, they're using every marketing tactic known to man, billboards, commercials, everything else. When they came up with their referral program, which is still on the front page of their website today, it's refer some or sign up for PayPal for $5 and refer someone for $5. It was the biggest thing any money transfer platform could have done at that time. That's what created their explosive growth. If you read books at all, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, they talk about this a lot in detail. You could never replicate that in this day and age. You can never. There's reward systems out there, but you can never tell someone or a group of people, "I'll give you $5 to refer someone," and have people flocking and losing their minds and referring everyone in the same way that it did for PayPal Mania. But you can in South Sudan. And that's arguably
Yeah.
one of the only places in the world, a handful of places in the world, where you can actually replicate that type of viral marketing campaign. And the thing is, why we talk about it publicly is because we know that no one else can do that the way we are right now. We're the ones building within South Sudan, not trying to attack the problem from outside of it. So we can create these marketing campaigns and go viral with it. And that's a part that I cannot wait to experience with everyone that's involved in PESA.
Sounds like lightning's about to strike twice. So this is PayPal of Africa. Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't even laced the gloves up yet. This is just us showcasing what we're going to do, and that starts at a baseline of $8.6 million in transaction volume.
Use the app and it creates a micro buy on the charts in real time.
That's
Interesting.
correct. So that can be showcased, and again, when we do our tech demo, I'll show you that. I'll show you me going through the app. It's all instantaneous. So just like you use, Phantom, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, there's always these delays and glitches and different slippage and everything else. For the app, everything is automatically handled and weighed out. So if I want to send money to someone, it gets sent instantaneously. If I want to buy PESA token with my USD, so I can use PESA tokens for lesser fees, it's instantaneous. And not only instantaneous as you work through the app, but an instant buy on the chart as well too. There's no delay or disconnect. This is what we've been working on for 3 years to ensure that this is not some archaic technology, that this is reliable tech that works right away. So no one ever has to go looking or chasing down a transaction.
So let's Man, that's amazing. So sounds like the next video is going to be a tech demo, which I'm a tech nerd. I love it. So let's
Absolutely.
see. Tokenomics, 60 million PESA, liquidity, 40,200,000, remittance, 13,800,000, marketing advisors, 3 million, the team, 3 million. There you have it, guys, right there on the website. Trading tax, 6% buy, 10% sell.
That's criminal. And so I want to go through that so that no one thinks I'm sitting up here with a straight face while you go through a 6% buy tax and a 10% sell tax.
Right. I was
We had
about to
launched
ask.
we had launched this governance token in midst of probably the worst part of the bear market.
Right.
To again, we had our company first. We wanted to launch the token and start integrating our app into it and test all the functions that we need to of how it buys on the chart. You need an active chart in order for that to happen. And of course, we promoted it to investors too to get in on what we would classify still as your seed round of getting everyone involved before the company really goes live. So in the midst of the bear market, taxes were normal. This is where it was a very common thing. 10% is not bad. Whereas in this day and age, you're like 10% is a scam, and I do believe it's a scam. For us, the way our smart contract is developed, we could either keep a certain level of tax, or you have to remove tax altogether, or you have to relaunch the token. So we kept the tax and are relaunching the token, and you'll see in there in plain as day, 100% of the taxes used are to buy back on the chart directly, and you can track that through our wallets. But as of, I think, a month or so ago, any taxes for buying PESA tokens are completely refunded back. People just send me their transaction hashes and they're done. So if you are considering a position in this to get in relaunch and all that, you're not going to be charged tax for any of your purchases.
Yeah, and I'll vouch for you, man. I bought my first small bag, and you darn sure sent the taxes right back to me, and I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Yeah. So no, that's like I said, that's a thing that our tokenomics will change. Relaunch. What's not going to change is that holders' tokens are not going to be diluted. So it's not like you get in now and all of a sudden it's worth less because we had to shuffle around the tokenomics for the new relaunch. It's going to be 1-to-1 ratio. You're going to get your amount in PESA that you had the day that the chart stops trading, and we start our marketing campaign for relaunch.
So there's 60 million. There will not be any more, right?
That's correct. And 60 million is a personal number from Phil. It represents the amount of Africans that use remittance services, and it's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. But when you're trying to do math, it'd be so much better to be 100 million, so that it correlates with the market cap and the price of the tokens as well. But we've made do. So it's a firm representation of the people using remittance that Phil wanted to have.
That's pretty cool. I'd love to meet Dr. How do you
Phil,
say his last name? Sohm?
Phil Sohm, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to meet Dr. Sohm one day. And there you are right there. Easy E or easy double E.
So just funny about getting into crypto. So my friends were the ones that coaxed me into it. I always knew that it existed. I'm an index fund investor, very safe. Like I said, I don't believe in a lot of the gambling or high volatility.
Right.
And my friends were the ones that were pushing me to get into it. And I said, no. And it was this one project called Dream that I was referred to by a friend that said, hey, look, there's this token called Dream launching, and they focus on mental health. They had this really interesting concept where they only wanted their chart was only active on stock market hours, so 9 to 5 EST. Right. And so what that meant was the chart could not be traded after 5 p.m. So you could go about your day. You don't have to look at charts all the time, be watching it at 2 a.m. to ensure that you don't get rugged by a developer. Like, this is when it was Wild West, like bear market. So they knew that mental health was an issue in crypto because people weren't sleeping. People were obsessing over charts, and created this amazing platform. And so I said, okay, mental health it hits home a lot for me. It's a major buzzword for me. That's what got me involved into crypto initially. So, but my friend said it's very dangerous. Like, you want to be hidden, you want to be anonymous. So create your moniker, create your NFT profile picture. And I think it was like a week into crypto that Phil and I, not a week into it, it was about a couple months into it that Phil and I met. And I instantly was like, no, I'm not. If I'm going to be behind a project or something, they're going to know exactly who I am, exactly what I stand behind, and that we can actually be trusted. So my name is Easy E for a very long time. Very favorited rapper of mine. And so that was my moniker initially. So people still call me Easy, so I keep it on there.
Hey, man, 90s rap, 80s and 90s rap, man. It's still good to this day.
Yeah, so just an ode to my old profile, yeah.
There you go. Eric, we could go on for hours about this. It sounds like that this was a great introduction. This is actually just an introductory video. We still have a tech demo that we've got to do. Your next phases of this we've got to cover. Sir, we have a lot of work, and I'm up for the challenge.
Absolutely. So am I. It's going to be a lot of things coming down the pipe for us in the near future. If you're following along on our TG, I think you had posted maybe the link to our TG in your description. If not, you can find us easy on X or Twitter. PESA token, just look it up. You'll find us, and the link's right there. But I would join there. We have a ton of information. Our channel is very different than normal TG channels. And actually, Pete, you would allude to this earlier today. That's nice. It's a chill channel. Like it's a nice group where it's actually informative. People asking genuine questions instead of it being like flooded with just memes and useless information. So I would strongly advise you joining that and just finding out how you can get involved. Obviously, we are an investable token. So as you put your money into the token, you are becoming a part of the fight against all the corruption, all the fees that we're currently dealing with. You get a window into exactly how we're operating and the people that you're helping. And that window is only going to get bigger, where you'll actually be able to see in real time how we're affecting people's household lives, their businesses, how we're affecting them individually, people in crisis. We've done a few things, and I'm not going to list them all now, but you go in the TG chat, you'll see a few things to help people that really needed it, gunshot wounds, flooding in different areas of the world. There's many things that we as a community come together to do. There's enough gambling and there's enough Ponzi schemes in this space that we want to bring something different to it, something that's very real and that can actually actively involve holders as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, mental health to me is very big in cryptocurrency. And I've messed with leverage. I've done all kind of things. And, I've been married 21 years. I have a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And I just want to go to sleep at night. That's it. And finding cryptocurrency projects that have real world assets to where it's being run in an efficient manner. I mean, there's some that are not real world assets to where they're phenomenal projects too. But they always say it's good to diversify what you invest in. And with this meeting you, talking to you, I'll eventually have you saying love, peace, and chicken grease as part of your everyday language. So just remember that, guys. Love, peace, chicken grease. And that's how we roll down here in the South.
I asked my girlfriend if she knew what that meant, and she said no too. So
but write it down and don't forget it. We may have to make a love, peace, and chicken grease token to go with PESA. So there you go. Hey, wait a minute. You put some PESA on the chicken and then lube it with grease. There you go.
Beautiful. Nicely done.
Eric, stick with me after the stream. Guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Smash that like button. I do have a bag of PESA token. I will be buying more. That's not financial advice. Do your own research. Their X account is in the comments. Telegram and everything else, along with website, is in the comments and in the video description. This is a good dude right here, y'all. We're going to get to know him a whole lot more. I'm jealous of you, man. My beard's all white, so I have to shave. So there you go. I'm a random guy, man.
It's coming in. Don't you worry. If this camera had zoom, I'd show you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. You're going to get the outro, Eric. I'll talk to you in just a second.
Cheers.